Oh yeah, folks. It has begun. Yet another adventure into the guitar world. This one comes from Germany. Mailman just delivered it. You might hear his engine cranking up in the background. This is from Germany. Thomann. They tell me they make high quality guitar products at reasonable prices. We shall see. I will bring this into the house, let it come up to temperature, and give you an update on what's going on with this thing. Yes, if you know me, it's a guitar, also known as the Git Fiddle. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, that's for real. I had a neighbor that played guitar that used to call it a Git Fiddle. But I've been waiting over a month for this, and let's see what's gonna happen. Let me hit you back later. Yeah, it's sitting right here. A lot of YouTubers say that when you get these things in the shipped in the post or whatever, that you should let it sit, to let it come to temperature for some reason. I got guitars that go in and out of the back of my Jeep continuously, different temperatures and stuff, and they got to be played immediately because we got a gig. But I'm gonna go ahead and let it rest for a little bit before I actually tear the box open. I'm a patient person, so don't matter. Probably doesn't make a difference one way or the other, but I'm just not in a hurry. But I do want to get to that goodness that's up in that box. So hit you back later. Okay, stuff like this is like Christmas time. Tired of waiting. So let me see if I can make it do what it do. Was looking through some of my video cameras, and none of them are really up to today's technology, where I just have digital stuff that I could use to easily put this into a format where I could make a cohesive video. But that's neither here nor there. Well, this is the box. Turned it on its side. I'm gonna go ahead, and I understand how some of these YouTubers be talking about it's hard to do this with one hand and trying to film with the other. So please excuse the shaky cam. Okay. Got it open pretty easy. The big time bubble wrap that's gonna make an extra mess in my home that is already messy, but we'll take care of that. Okay, and this says this is the type of packaging I'm used to for a guitar. And as you can see, lots of bubbly wrap, shock protection. So I guess that's pretty good. And yeah, I guess that's the model number. HBTE80NT, whatever that means. And yeah, hold on a second. Let me go grab my cutting knife, or my, what they call the box cutter. Yeah, box cutter in the house. Just cut there, cut there. I know it's somewhere down here. Yep, that's cut. That's cut. Okay. So, thinking, let me clear off the Black & Decker. Maybe yep. This is my kitchen / workshop. It's where I make it happen, where all the mods and craziness go on when I'm working on guitars. Yeah, this is raw. This is old school. This is not professional. It's a non-professional thing going on here. Okay. Now check it out. This is pretty much what I kind of expected. Like I said, it's all the way from Germany. Pretty good looking so far. But let's take a moment to check it out. One rubber band gone. Okay, here you see what I guess would be the customary Harley Benton logo. And then as I bring stuff down here, switching hands. Now, the initial feel on the neck, this neck feels pretty good. You know, usually I feel the need, even with these satin type necks or unfinished necks, I feel the need to sand them down and steel wool them and do some what you call it, coat them with gunstock oil. Not really feeling like I'm going to have the immediate need to do that with this one. So that is a good thing. Let me pull off these goodies right here. Please excuse shaky cam once again because I'm doing this. You know, left hand is holding the phone, right hand is showing you this. But these are picks that you can put in your wallet as it's credit card size. So I guess you can punch these picks out and at any moment in time be ready to play. Really like this sticker because I think I might put this on my front door in case of fire. Rescue my guitars. Don't worry about me, just rescue my guitars. Okay. And right now, as I push this stuff back, you're getting a view of my workshop area, which should be the kitchen table, but it is not used for that purpose. And more bubble wrap coming off of this guitar. One thing I am noticing is that everything on this right now really feels really smooth. Like they took a lot of care and attention to, you know, really putting a lot of detail in this. Now, this is a copy of the copy that Prince used. Let me put this down for just a second so I can get the rest of this stuff off of here. Okay, my man Prince played a copy of the Fender Telecaster. This is a copy of his copy, even though they don't quite market it as such, but this is a copy of the type of Telecaster type, not Telecaster specifically, but Telecaster type that supposedly he played back in the day. It looks very much like it, you know. Looks in pretty good condition. I have not given it a critical inspection yet. Gonna check the action. Gonna check the how the neck is, if it has the proper relief and everything. But initially and on first, touch, everything looks really smooth. Not really crazy about how the and this is stuff I've heard a lot about Harley Benton stuff. The pick guards are usually not cut really well. It's okay. Nothing that an audience would really look at or be concerned about. It's more stuff that's about us guitar nerds and what we expect. Not quite in tune, but I've heard or read that when they ship you a guitar, it's not supposed to be in tune. It should be, slightly out. And people that I've seen some YouTubers that expect a guitar to be exactly in tune. when they get it. I mean, nah. But it's more about how it holds tune once you have it and use it regularly. So let me pause here and, pick it up. Well, let me turn it over. Let you see the other side. People say this guitar, I've heard some YouTubers who have this one say that this guitar is really heavy. Well, not that heavy, and I would say not as heavy as some Les Pauls I've had past, in a past life, but I would say it's about average weight to me. But then I play an acrylic guitar that's really, really heavy. So like I said, let's stop here and maybe a sound review later. Okay, yes, I know my house is a mess, but part of being grown, you clean whenever you get the urge to clean. You do when you feel like. But let me show you something. A lot of these Thomann guitars, people do reviews and say that, they always talk about the neck sprout and everything, and feeling up and down this neck, I can feel some very slight, maybe a little bit of neck sprout on the frets, but nothing that's going to cut your fingers or anything like that. I think they did a pretty good job. And I don't feel the need to do anything with this, but one of the things that that I believe they advertise is that all of these guitars are kind of inspected and set up before they ship out. And this is the quality control cat, I guess. Somebody named Jack over at Thomann. And, really, if you look at that, that winding, that particular winding right there, see how that kind of is separated and looks loose? I have that string in tune. And I would guess if I pulled on that string or bent it, as we typically do as guitar players, it would come out of tune. Okay. Now look at the windings on these here. That's good. Focus, focus, focus. That's good. These are what the windings should look like. So all of these are pretty good. It's just that one that someone went to sleep on. And I just pulled it slightly out of tune there, I think. But, and there is a little, where did I find it? Yeah, there's a little, I don't even know if you can see it on this camera, but there's a little, like, dollop or drip in the finish here. Now that's some picky stuff. That's something I would never send a guitar back for. But I'm really liking the color because this is not this is a maple neck, but it's not the typical maple color. It's a little bit more little more tan than the typical maple neck, and I kind of like that, you know. And like I said, the neck feels really good. I'm not sure about why that is recessed like that in the nut slot, and it's not like that on the other side, but the other side is poking out like this nut is not sitting properly. But looking at the string spacing and everything, the strings go across the neck pretty much the way they should. So maybe that's, you know, a little something else. But hey, I'm picky. You know, that's what I do. So, catch you in the next segment. Hey, check this out. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera, but there's a gritty sound or feel when I move the string across the frets. And I thought it was just me being picky, so it's something I noticed, so I went to my other guitars. And maybe it's because they're broken in or whatever, but I don't have that sound, so I'm thinking maybe there's some lacquer or something they left on the frets when they did the finish on the neck. But normally, when me just doing this without picking and hearing a sound, I thought that was strange. And it feels gritty. Now, the action is acceptable. I would probably tweak it a little bit for my own preference, but it's pretty good. The intonation is, I'm gonna have to adjust it. It's not point on. I mean, you could hear that one. You can hear that one is off. And you can hear that one is off. That one sounds pretty good. And granted, I'm not using I'm just doing it by ear, so take that with a grain of salt. But some of these are off. The intonation is off. So if don't expect a complete setup, and see how all of these bridge pieces are just basically even. Shouldn't be that way. They should be staggered in a certain pattern that I'm used to seeing. And I 40 some years of playing, some stuff. Okay, on to the next segment. Okay. Excuse the angle, but I'm just propping my phone up the way the phone just happens to be. So excuse the unprofessionalness of, if that's even a word. But I think this is going to be the last part of the video. To say overall, this on Thomann Thomann is in Germany. Like I said, it took over a month for this guitar to get to me, but keep in mind, I ordered it beginning of December, Christmas time. So any other time might take a little bit less time. But, overall, it's got a few issues, but it's nothing I can't fix. They're very minor, being the picky guitar player that I am. I bought it with making mods in mind, but I'm going to hold off on those mods because these Roswell pickups in here sound pretty good, but as single coils do, I don't know if you can hear that on camera, or let me bring the volume up. On clean they hum a little, but not so bad. And my sound structure is over here. I use a Carvin V3 micro amp, and I'm just plugged straight into that, no effects. There's a little bit of reverb built into the amp that I have cranked up to about level 2, and that's about it. That's it, and that's my clean tone right there. It sounds pretty good. This is on the neck pickup. Got to leave, well, gotta go. Something's missing that I need. I'll need to find, whatever it is that's burning in my mind. It's cool. All right? And this is middle position. Saying? And then, neck position is, what's something. I've never been a bridge position pickup person. But that sounds okay, but if you roll back on the tone a little bit. I mean, you get something that, kind of sounds a little bit better to me. Basically for me, bridge position pickup is for stuff like this. Okay, and you notice how when you bring up the gain, you get more hum. And that is where, I'm thinking I'm going to put there's another guitar I have over here that actually has a Seymour Duncan dual rail in the bridge that should be in the neck that should be a bridge position. So I bought another pickup to put in the place of that one to put the Seymour Duncan dual rail here. But man, I'm really evaluating that because I'm a person that's that believes in not reinventing the wheel if you don't have to. You know what I mean? Because this, as shipped, it sounds pretty good. Needs a few tweaks. I'm going to lower the action just a tad, fix the intonation. And I don't have to mess with the electronics, I really don't want to, but, you know. But out of the box, it performs beautifully. If you know how to do your own setups, you know, great bang for the buck. I mean, like on Thoman's website, cost me 190 some euro, which at the end of the day, I looked at my PayPal account. Total shipped to my door cost me $228, about somewhere around there, less than $230. So yeah, I mean, well worth it, I think. You know, I can't complain at all, I don't think. Can't mess with it. I mean, it feels pretty good. Plays pretty good. And they also have other guitars that are less expensive. I mean, I think it's pretty good. Other than, you know, after adjusting the intonation, maybe doing something with the nut. I don't know. I might leave that alone. First string change, I'm going to polish these frets to make them, you know, as I bend strings a little bit more smooth. But you know, any gripes I got with this, I'm really impressed with how they ship this with little fret sprout, especially as far across the world that this guitar came from. It's from Germany. One day may go with lock-in tuners, but I don't know. I mean, you know, I'd probably, you know, for the same thing, if I had the money, you know, I'm on a budget, so I paid what I paid for this with the money I had. But if I had the money, I'd pay 50 to 100% more for this same guitar, because it's, I mean, it's good enough. And I think the what they charge for shipping on this was about $35 from Germany. And on top of that, I believe, don't quote me on that, but I believe if you order like up to 3 guitars, it's still that $35 price. So if you have multiple guitars in mind, then you know, take advantage of that. But this is Thomann. I think it's Thomann. It's out of Germany. The brand is Harley Benton. This is a Harley Benton, and it's a copy of the Telecaster type guitar that Prince used to play. And you know, won't say it sounds exactly like his, but it's probably kind of close. It's in that style. So if you're in a tribute band that does Prince stuff, this might appeal to you. If you just like the sound, it might appeal to you. I like it. So form your own opinion. Hope this information helps. Feel free to comment, subscribe, and ask me any questions, that you want. I usually try to answer. And y'all be cool and be funky. Okay, check it out. Earlier I said the nut position was a little recessed on this side. I took a little jeweler's hammer and hit it on the other side and knocked it into a place where it's even on this side and kind of even on that side. But you know where I'm getting at. I'm thinking I like the string placement along the neck a little bit better. Brings the lower E string higher, brings the higher E string higher in place. So I'm thinking this nut is, this, when they cut the nut on a guitar, especially on this type, like Stratocasters and Telecasters, that should be in there so tight that you don't really need any glue or anything to keep it in place. But I'm thinking that, maybe a little bit of glue might be beneficial to hold that in place. But in time I might replace that nut with like a tusk or something like that. But I'm not going to reinvent the wheel until I need to. So just another thought, another segment. Yeah, man, don't know if it's the aged look or whatever it is about this thing. I know it's a brand new guitar, but I keep looking at it among my other guitars and personal belongings, and it just looks and feels like I've had it all along. I have no idea what that's about. Got the intonation set on this thing now. Lowered the action just a little bit on most of the strings. Some of the strings were pretty cool in line. Some of the intonation on some of the strings were pretty cool, but got everything to where it should be now. And it's working out pretty good. Little less than $230 to my door, shipping included, from Germany. Takes a while, but I ordered this like, the first, second, third day of December. So that's Christmas season. So Christmas season might have had something to do with, how long it took to get here. But it's sounding, feeling, and playing really well. Only one last issue is this right here. I don't know if you can hear this on this, I'm just shooting this on my phone camera, but right in that particular spot. I'm guessing that's where the wire from this pickup is attaching to the electronics here. And I'm getting a little crackle when I touch here. No matter what I do, I'm getting that crackle there. So I'm thinking maybe I need to go in and shield that cavity or something in there because that's exactly where I pluck and, you know, where my fingers rest when I'm playing. So when I'm, there's that little snap, crackle, pop right there. I don't know what that's about. But I do know that has to go. So, but still thinking about doing, you know, I bought this with the idea in mind that I know, you know, I like single coil sounds for some things, but I'm mostly a humbucker type of cat. And I knew I was going to put a humbucker here in the bridge. You know, a single coil space humbucker, like a Seymour Duncan I have in another guitar that I'm going to take out. This one I was thinking about Guitar Fetish Neovin to put in this position that's noiseless. So maybe if I do that mod, maybe that issue will go away. But man, I'm kind of liking it the way it is. And, you know, I'm one of them people like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know. But, you know, I play a lot of places and clubs that have bad wiring or stuff that wreaks havoc with your equipment. And if a single coil is prone to hum, if you go in one of those places with bad wiring, it's really going to hum. And it's annoying, and especially if we're going with a situation where all the instruments are going to be mic'd and coming through the main PA. So hum is, for me, is an issue. Yeah, but I really like this. It's a little bright for my taste, but not so bright that makes it unbearable. You know, this is everything all the way up. Turn this down. There's a slight roll off on the high end, so I may go in and put a treble bleed on that volume pot. But I can always roll back the tone and make it more mellow. I don't know if that's translating through the video here, but it can't complain. $230 for this. This is easily a $400 guitar. Really, $400 or $500 guitar. You know. I probably wouldn't go more than 500 on this, but you know, back when I was a kid, if you got a cheap axe, you sounded like you had a cheap axe. But today, inexpensive guitars sound really good. So it's Thomann.de. It's a company in Germany. THOMANN. THOMANN.de. If you're a struggling musician like me on a budget, check them out, man. Can't mess with them. You know, highly impressed. The only other thing I'm thinking about doing, other than the, you know, electronic mods that I may or may not do, is I'm going to polish up these frets. You know, and I'm going to wait until the first string change I do on this. When I take all the strings off, I'm going to polish up the frets to get rid of that grit feel. And a lot of that is going away simply because I'm playing it. So my playing is probably wearing away at some of that grit feel on the frets. So, I don't know. All in all, this thing is awesome, man. So all you guys and gals and peoples out there, y'all have a pleasant day. What up? This is my first unboxing video. So yeah, everything gonna look dark. The lighting ain't right. And it's generally gonna look messed up. But hope the information is useful. Peace.